Alright guys, welcome to the channel. This is 𝐦𝐴LEXHolmes and I will be here talking about books from a mental health perspective, how we can use books and therapy together. I'm a therapist. I typically work in hypnotherapy with added psychotherapeutic approaches, but at the moment I'm working on building bibliotherapy as an informed practice for mental health and well-being. So a lot of my content is going to be about books and about mental health and how they combine and where they connect in the middle. A large percentage of my clients and the people that I work with and the audience that I speak to tend to be men, but that doesn't mean that I'm not speaking to everybody at the same time, although some of the content might be more directed to men and their mental health, especially as somebody who specializes in that too. So I'm not buying any new books until May. That's not saying much since there's 2 weeks left of April, but I'm not buying any new books until May, and here's why. I have a stack of books here that I need to read. I pulled out all the fiction books I have left in my house because I sold a ton of fiction books to clear space in my room. But for now, I have around 9 books there that I'm going to talk about today, just very briefly, just kind of throwing in and out what that looks like for me going forward. So yeah, not buying any new books, but here are the 10. There is 10 that I'm going to talk about. So what I'm currently reading, How to Stop Time by Matt Haig. Now, Matt Haig is one of my favorite authors, especially when it comes to speculative fiction. And this book follows Tom Hazard, who is how many years old? I mean, he was born in like the 1500s, and he has a condition where he ages 1 year for every 15 years that he lives. And it's his journey on finding love and his experiences, and I'm only part way through it. I'm actually just on part 2 at the moment, and so far it's pretty good. I love the way Matt Haig writes, and I love his typical talking points. He has a lot of tones around mental health and well-being in here. He has mentions of suicide and the existential strains of what it means to exist today. So, I want to get through this by the end of the month, and it's actually pretty good so far. So I'm excited to continue with that as well. So on to the books that I found in my room that I'm going to try and work through this year. I will be getting more books in May, but until then, here are the fiction books that I'm going to be trying to work through too. I have The Road by Cormac McCarthy. I bought this as soon as I heard that he died, and I think that he died recently. And it was a book that I know that I need to read, but I haven't had the opportunity to read, and I had it sitting on my shelf for a good few months. So the story looks compelling. I love this book cover. A father and a young son walk alone through burned America, heading slowly for the coast. Nothing moves in the ravaged landscape, save the ash on the wind. They have nothing but a pistol to defend themselves against the men who stalk the road. The clothes they are wearing, a cart of scavenged food, and each other. So this speaks a lot to my kind of sensibilities around approaching masculinity and conversation about masculinity, especially when we're working towards getting more men and boys reading. I love the cover. It is rough and it is simple, and the font doesn't look too small either. So I'm looking forward to getting into that. So that's what I'm going to be getting my teeth stuck into as well. Along Came a Spider by James Patterson, an Alex Cross novel. I don't know why I picked this up, but I thought to myself, I wanted to get back into a lot more crime fiction. I read Win by Harlan Coben, which I'll get onto that another time, but when I was buying that book, I thought, actually, I haven't read any Alex Cross in a while by James Patterson. So I thought to myself, let me pick up Along Came a Spider by James Patterson. And yeah, we all know it's just one of those kick-ass thrillers that take place in the capital city and all hell breaks loose. So basically, I will be getting into this before the end of the year, and I will be doing a review as to what this was like. So I'm excited for that too. So that's Along Came a Spider, James Patterson and Alex Cross thriller. Right, so The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman. I've been seeing this everywhere. I've been seeing a lot of people talking about it. It's in all of the bookshops, like the commercial bookshops. So we've got, in the UK, we've got The Works, we've got W.H. Smith, obviously. And I was seeing this a lot all the time until I saw one of my friends post that they read it on Instagram. And I said, oh, actually, what is it? What is this about? And I think it is quite compelling because it is about a demographic that we don't always get to hear from, the elderly, especially in the UK. I tried listening to this on audiobook and I didn't quite like it. So back to the physical book we go. It's probably because I like to hear my own voice when I'm listening to this stuff, or the voices have to be compelling. There are 3 actors on that audiobook, but I just figured, let me finish this in print as well. So yeah, I'll leave that. So Richard Osman, The Thursday Murder Club. Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe by, let me not butcher his name, Benjamin Alire Saenz. I don't know whether that's correct or not. Again, like how I was with my crime fiction bag, this is how I was with my young adult fiction bag. And I just picked up a load of young adult fiction books, and I'm yet to start this. I just kind of picked it up and put it down, and I hadn't gotten into it in any particular detail as well. So I will be reading this before the end of the year too. And I think that is something that I'm looking forward to doing. With the young adult fiction, Forever Ends on Friday, by Justin Reynolds. I have nothing more to add than this, other than I really loved the cover. And, it is a tale of friendship, loss, and grief. And I think that when we have these conversations in young adult fiction books, I think it's a huge skill a lot of the time with these authors kind of depicting these big, heavy emotions for the young adult demographic. Really, really looking forward to getting into this. So Forever Ends on Friday. I'm not actually, I think it was, this was giving me the energy of The Hate U Give. So looking forward to that. We'll be getting into that soon. I have not much information on this. This is the proof copy that was sent to me. HappyHead, How Far Would You Go to Be Happy? By Josh Silver. And I've been sitting on my shelf for ages and I've been like, this is actually really sinister. Yes, but the blurb says, we are in an epidemic of unhappiness. The data has shown that without intervention, you, the youth of our country, are in serious danger of many things, but most importantly, in danger of yourselves. Friends, here is the good news. HappyHead has the answer. So this came out March 2023, so I need to get onto this, and I will do a review on that as soon as I am finished with this. Listen, I am not making life easy for myself at all, but I did this on audiobook, and it hasn't really pulled me as best as I thought it was. I was trying to read it with my friend and I put it on pause for a little bit. But Hugh Howey Wool from the Silo series. I'm looking forward to getting into this properly. But when I get back into my reading habits, I'm looking forward to channeling this. So I really want to have this read over the next 6 months. I will endeavour to get this done too. So that's Wool by Hugh Howey as well, at Haig's The Midnight Library. I read this on audiobook, so I have read it already. It was a really great audiobook. But there are things that I would want to reread on this, especially as I'm suggesting a lot of these books to clients to read to kind of make sense of their own situation. But the Midnight Library is amazing. It's like there's a library on the intersection of your life and death, and you have to, and you pick before you move on or whatever decision you decide to make. You can read your library of all the lives you hadn't lived, of your life, etc. And to decide and to look at your last chance regrets and all these different things. There's a huge theme of depression in this book, and it touches on so many things in a sensitive and beautiful way, in the way that Matt Haig tends to do. Loved it. I'm gonna read it again, probably over Christmas. So I'm gonna try and hold this for the end of the year. 𝐦𝐨𝐬𝐤𝐞, The Killing Floor. I'm not sure about this book. I read part of it, read part of the beginning of it. I really want to get into it. So I'm going to be making a huge commitment to try and finishing this as well. This was his first book, especially with this author. I was like, actually, you're doing so big now. You've got a multi-conglomerate kind of industry with your book and your readers. I wanted to get into this, especially when I'm working with men as well, because a lot of men want to identify with the masculine aspects of these characters as well. And I figured that The Killing Floor might be a good place to start, especially as it's an introduction, and it's in the first person. So, Killing Floor by 𝐦𝐨𝐬𝐤𝐞. Those are the books. And I'm looking forward to getting into them. We're finished How to Stop Time, and yes, I will catch you guys soon. Make sure to rate, review, and subscribe. Drop a subscription over at the Litscription on Substack. That's 𝐵yAlexHolmes.substack.com. Head over to the podcast if you're interested in hearing me there as well. And yeah, I'm looking forward to catching you guys very soon. So thank you for bearing with me. This is my first YouTube foray, so looking forward to catching more of you soon. Peace.